guys and girls. Super X here, and tonight the anxiously awaited Coil Master 521 tab is in my hands. This is such a killer little device, especially for the price. I mean, this is something, there's similar ones made that cost hundreds of dollars. This one, not quite. I think it's somewhere around 40 bucks. But what it does, it's pretty amazing in the sense that it measures the resistance of your atomizer when it's built. It's a building platform, measures the resistance of your atomizer, fires your atomizer, lets you work out any kinks in it before you ever put it anywhere near a mod. So you pulse it, get your coils right, wick it, check everything for shorts. And then what I found that I would do with it if it was me, especially if I wasn't sure of a builder, probably most of the times you can hit it and make sure everything's right. If you don't like something about the way it's built, you can rip it out and start it all over before taking it off there and putting it on your mod. You can raise your coil, lower your coil, move your coil out from the air holes, move it in. Get everything ironed out right here on this one device, right down to the vape quality, vape production, before you ever put it on a mod. Because the cool thing about it is it runs on a 18650 rechargeable lithium-ion battery. I happen to have an AWIMR 1600 in that bad boy, which you can either charge yourself or plug it in right there. It's got all kinds of neat lights on it and stuff. Lights up. Probably can't see that here at the studio lighting, but it does all kinds of different things. I'm going to take you through all those things. Oh man, broke it. Just kidding. I'm going to take you through everything that it does. Here. In the under the hood portion, we'll stick this Haster RDA on here. The CT Whole Hood genuine legitimate Haster by Catfish Addy Mods. This atomizer's killer. Still not figuring out why people haven't just snapped it up. It's top air, single or dual coil. It's like 45 bucks from the Catfish Addy Mod, dude. That's what we're going to use to run through the test on this, how it goes down, okay? So give me a minute. Let me get my camera. Now I don't have to turn it around. I'm going to try a different vantage point where I got a couple of different tripods. Still not fancy enough yet to have multiple cameras, but they just get in my way anyway. I'll be knocking stuff over. I've already got knocked over these big tower lights a couple times because I'm clumsy like that. I'm a freak just like that. All right. So let's get this thing rocking, and I will see you on the other side. Here's the deal right here. Heck with the box. Who wants to care about a box? Although it is quite a nice box, and I have torn through this box. I think what we all want to see, what I care about, is the 521 tab. Boxes are boxes. It has parts that you'll want to know about that come with it, but it's safe to say we can pop this thing away right now, and let's get on with the important business of looking at the Coil Master 521 tab. Now I have used it, been playing with it, so let me wipe it off because I've fired some addies. Here's the tab itself. It's a pretty killer device, okay? First thing you'll notice about it is it takes an 18650, plugged an AWIMR 1600 in there. Actually, I put a 2200 in there. I was wondering where one of those went. 2200 in there. Conveniently labeled for positive and negative. That little tab goes on it. So it takes an 18650 rechargeable battery that you can either charge yourself or you can plug in. It has a mini USB cable for it, okay? And this is pretty much it from the side view. Okay, so here's kind of it as we look at it. You got multiple positions for it. You got a burn-in, like where you can test your addy with it. You got your ohms reading, your resistance reading. Killer 510 in it that is it's an adjustable 510. I shouldn't say adjustable. I believe it's like a spring-loaded when you put in your addy. Now, I haven't used this. I wouldn't use this or any really decent resistance reader to remove the top of like a sticking addy or something. I've got mods for that or other ways to do it. But I have no reason to believe that this probably wouldn't stand up to it, but I just probably wouldn't put it through that level of abuse. It also comes with this deal right here, which you can use to screw a mod to and check the voltage drop on your mod. Okay, well, you got your Addy on there. I'll take you through all that, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. It is a voltage meter, a voltage drop tester. It has some leads in here you can use to anneal wire, burn in your wire, measure the resistance of wire. I am not really the wire resistance, like before it's on the coil reader. I like to check my Addy when it's built, so these probably wouldn't serve me any purpose, but for those that may or may not be, these things just plug into these little slots right here, and they can serve two functions. You can clip your wire or your coil in here and get a resistance reading on them just by clicking this over to resistance, I believe it would be, or whatever. Like I said, this isn't my deal. Or you can put it to the fire mode and actually hit the fire button, and this can anneal your wire. I don't pre-anneal, so this isn't a feature that for me is like of any importance, but it does come with that, so it is a feature I'd like to demonstrate, or at least advise you of, that it does have that capability. Here's the mini USB that you can use to charge the battery while it's in there, so that those are the things that kind of come with it. So I want to kind of focus on the things that are probably going to appeal the most to most vapors, and that is the ohms reading resistance on it. Let's just take an atomizer and screw it down here. Again, this feels, for the price, I want to say this thing's somewhere around 40, 50 bucks. Again, it was sent to me by Coil Master, anxiously awaited. I've been seeing people's pictures and videos of it. I said, I can't wait to get my Coil Master 521. It couldn't have come soon enough. So basically, screwing your atomizer to it, you would use it as, I would use it as a build platform. Is one of the main uses I would have for it too, rather than messing around with mods to build on. But essentially, how it works is your atomizer is here. This is a pre-built Addy. I felt that would be the best thing to screw on here, so you can check your resistance of it. As you can see, the switch is a 3-toggle switch. You have your off position, which is in the middle. The resistance is forward, and it gives you, when you see your resistance here, you'll know you're checking resistance. So that's your resistance deal, and you can see there's a little coil in there, and that's pretty much it. Now, what I always recommend anyone that's rebuilding an atomizer to fully check resistance is not just when the coil is on there, but you want to check your resistance when all the pieces are on too, including if you're using a metal drip tip. You definitely want to check it when your metal drip tip's on there. This is, by the way, in case anyone's curious, this is a Haster RDA. This is a bottom fed one by Catfish Addy Mods. Top air, channeled directly to the coil. Pretty sweet little Addy. It's dual or single coil. I just happen to have a big fat twisted single in there. And that's it. So now that all your parts are on, you see your resistance hasn't changed, you know you're good. If you stick any parts of the metal on and your resistance gives you a funky number, you know you probably have a short. Or if you're using a metal drip tip and you stick that in last and that resistance number changes, it means you have a short. So that's how I'd recommend, not just putting your coil in and testing it, but testing it like so. Then what you can do with it is put it in the fire mode and hit it, and it's actually going to fire your coil. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this thing also lights up in different colors. Over here, this thing was lighting up in red. Over here, it's not lighting up in red, but when I hit it, it turns red when I'm firing it. So that's pretty cool right there. What I think would be also another neat feature, aside from building on this tool, using it to build on, getting your coil all worked out, you know, queuing it up, getting it to glow perfectly, getting it oxidized perfectly by using the fire feature. This one happens to be wicked. You could also, you can put your drip tip on, and you know, sometimes you don't know where you want the height of your coil, where it's exactly going to work with the new build, or if you're just going to like it in general, you can also like just pull off of this. There's no reason why you couldn't. It's got a safe battery in there. Hopefully you use a safe battery. I think it only allows you to build down to a certain amount of ohms, and I'm thinking what Coil Master did was figured, you know, what's the cheesiest battery someone could put in this, and they probably figured the cheesiest 18650 handles this many amps, so they said let's make sure it cuts off there in case someone sticks in a battery that is below the maximum continuous discharge of your build. So if you built like a 0.1 ohm coil, it would probably exceed the maximum continuous discharge of your battery. So they put some built-in safety features in it too. The specs tell you in this There's an instruction book in here. It tells you what you can build up and down to. The instruction book's upstairs. It doesn't really tell you much. It's pretty intuitive how you use it. There's videos on it. This and that. Here's another video. But you could get your coil all set up and all that good stuff. And rather than put it on a mod and try to tweak it and get it just perfect, you could just hit it right off of this thing. Just take a pull. And you could say to yourself, hey, I'm vaping from my freaking tap. I think that's a pretty cool feature. Especially when you're just like, you know, you're getting a build right. Why waste your time screwing it to a mod and playing with it and burning it in when you could take care of all that stuff right here on this tab? Right down to just seeing if the vape is how you like it. You know, just if you're a dripper, drip some juice on your wick. In my case, I'm a bottom feeder, but I would still just drip some juice on the wick once I got it all built. Make sure it was good to go. Like I said, then you're not messing around with your mod. Until everything is pretty well set. With your build. Ironed out any shorts in it. Not that there are probably going to be any in most people's builds, and that's it. So you start to finish, you're building on this thing with it off. You're getting your coil in there. You're got your coil in all tight now. You're checking your resistance. You're coming through, then you're test firing it all before you wick it up. You're test firing the coil and getting it, and you're running your coil master back through there to work out all the oxidation, get it right, tighten up any screws, firing it until it's perfect. You know, just slow fire until it's perfect. And once it's all good, you put your top, everything on, check your resistance again. Your resistance hasn't changed. You know you're rocking and rolling. Take a couple hits off it. Make sure it's just exactly how you want it. If it's not, raise or lower your coil. Maybe move your coil in or out towards the air. Do what you got to do, or you might decide, wow, this is just way too hot of a build for me. I know the ohms are typically where I like it, but since this is a different atomizer, maybe I'm going to build it a little higher resistance or maybe a little lower. So all this can be done now in one convenient little location without building somewhere, putting it on a mod, realizing you don't like it, rebuilding. Now all your rebuilding, all your checking, right down to your final vape before you put it on a mod is done right here. That ensures by the time you do stick it on a mod, you're good to go. So that is the Coil Master 521 tab. Real happy with that I have it. I would have bought it had it not been sent to me. Had my eyes on it. I'm just really glad that these guys send me killer stuff. Oh, before I get out of it here, what you can also do with this is, I just don't happen to have a tube mod. And you can probably get an adapter. I know for a fact I've already tried to screw this mod to it. My Rio's mods do screw on here. But basically you would screw your mod onto this adapter. And my mod, in my case, would be upside down without the atomizer on it. The atomizer would be off it. You'd screw it onto this thing. And when you fire your mod, you're going to fire your mod, and it's going to give you the volt. It's going to show you the resistance of your atomizer and your voltage drop. So you already know your resistance. So basically all you have to do is know the resistance of your battery, or the voltage of your battery before you put it in. You'd check it. And you'd know if you're running, for instance, your battery is 4.19 volts. And this thing gives you like 3.75, you'll know the voltage drop of your mod is whatever 4.19 minus 3.75 is. So that's it. So this little thing is really cool in that sense right there. Okay, so when you screw your mod to this, it's using the battery in your mod. And you're going to fire it from your mod. Like I said, my mod is on here upside down without the Addy, and I'm hitting the fire button on my mod, and it's firing the Addy. I would take you through that. Like I said, I'm not a tube mod type. Don't have a tube. This is really kind of geared for tubes or boxes that don't have like a switch on top, maybe a regulated box. I'm not really sure of all the specifics. I run mechs for the most part primarily. All I run are mechs at this point. Not saying there's no regulated mods in my future, but there is the Coil Master 521 tab. Highly recommended. For that price, there's nothing really like it. I can pull out a $113 Fluke multimeter right here that I don't even mess with because it's such a major pain in the butt compared to what you can do with something like this. And no matter what you do with the Fluke ohm meter or whatever multimeter, it's not going to fire your coil for you and let you set it all up. I could run the Coil Master itself, little ohms meter, but again, none of that's going to do what this does, in a sense, to me, my favorite feature about it, aside from showing you the resistance of your atomizer, is being able to burn in your coil, fully oxidize it, test hit it, get it just right before you stick it on your mod. So I'm giving that thing just, this is killer. Highly recommend it to you. The Coil Master 521 tab. Super X saying, see ya.